Coming up here in Nashville at SEC Media Days, we'll talk Alabama Crimson Tide with Roger Hoover, the Crimson Tide Sports Network. We'll hear a little bit from Coach Nick Saban and some players, all that and more on Southern Sports Now. Welcome in. I'm Chase Robinson to Southern Sports Now here on Wednesday, July the 19th. We are here in Nashville at 2023 SEC Football Media Days. A lot going on here. The Alabama Crimson Tide here today, and Coach Nick Saban, as well as J.C. Latham, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and Dallas Turner representing the Crimson Tide here in Nashville. And it's been a great day so far, hearing what Coach Saban has to say, previewing this 2023 team, and a team that a lot of question marks about who will be quarterback. There's two new coordinators, so a lot to think about when we head into this 2023 season for the Crimson Tide, and Coach Saban looked to answer a lot of those questions today here at Media Days, and so we'll hear from Coach Saban in just a little bit. Also, Roger Hoover will join us at the Crimson Tide Sports Network. We'll get his thoughts on the Crimson Tide heading into this season, and so we're excited to talk some Alabama football here in Nashville, and a lot of fans on hand today here in Nashville to greet the Tide as they came in this morning, and a lot of cool stuff happening here in Nashville at SEC Media Days. But we'll jump to a break. We'll talk with Roger Hoover of the Crimson Tide Sports Network next here on Southern Sports Now.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
East Alabama Now Local News has been bringing you the best local news coverage for 6 months. And now we're growing.
EAN News will be available to you 5 nights a week with new faces, new content, and coverage that is second to none.
We'll be bringing you the weather that matters to your neighborhood and to you. Rain or shine, you'll be in the know.
Sports always brings communities together, and EAN Sports will have coverage of all of our area events.
East Alabama Now, local news, new faces, same great coverage. Starting 5 days a week, May 1st. EAN Local News, your news on your schedule.
We are back here on Southern Sports Now at SEC Media Days here in Nashville. And I've got Roger Hoover, the Crimson Tide Sports Network. You know, Roger, we get to talk on Skype and the phone and everything, but good to see you in person here.
Yeah, no problem at all. Really excited for the new show you guys have, and it's exciting that we're here. It's exciting we're in Nashville and getting ready for the start of football season. I love Media Days because now we know that the season's just around the corner.
Yeah, it is. It is right around the corner, and there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Alabama football this year. I mean, a lot of guys replaced, a lot of, new coordinators. I mean, there's a lot going into this season. I think kind of more question marks than normal for this team.
Yeah, I would say so, but there's still the one thing that is not a question mark. That's Coach Saban, and he is in very good spirits. He really likes the work ethic of this team. That's something we heard about all throughout the spring, and I think we're going to be able to see that in this season, and specifically with the new coordinators as well, kind of putting their own spin on things, keeping it Alabama football, but also having a fresh set of eyes, having a fresh approach, I think is good really on both sides of the ball. So when you have the work ethic, the talent that Alabama has each and every year, and they're going to have once again this year, that usually means a good season for the Crimson Tide. So we're really looking forward to getting back, hopefully to the college football playoff and beyond.
What do you think about Tommy Rees, new offensive coordinator? He seems to be a really sharp, younger coach. What are your thoughts on Tommy Rees?
Well, the word that Coach Saban said over and over again was he's bright. So that means he has a lot of good ideas. He kind of looks at the game a little bit differently, and now he gets to use some of those great ideas along with the best talent that's available in the nation. And maybe he didn't always have that at every single position in Notre Dame. Now he gets to have that with the Alabama Crimson Tide, and I think it's going to be a really tough physical team. I don't think it's going to be quite like it was with Greg McElroy, A.J. McCarron under center, ground a game leading overall. I think there's going to be a lot of balance with this team, but the fact that we're even talking about the offensive line playing to that standard that we saw 10 years ago, I think this is a really good thing. There's so many good running backs on this roster, and then the wide receivers, there are a lot of familiar faces there, which hasn't really been the case in some of the years that we've seen recently. So the fact that we have all that talent on that side of the ball, I think is really exciting, knowing that Tommy Rees has a fresh approach. SEC teams have not faced him recently. It's going to be great to see what he can do at Alabama.
Kevin Steele back at Alabama as defensive coordinator. What do you see from him and the defenses? Will Anderson has kind of been the face of Alabama's defense the last couple of years. What do you see from both Kevin Steele and now the defense?
Toughness, discipline. I think that's the main thing we heard during spring practice, is the fact that there is a standard these players are held to, and hopefully that'll translate as well into fewer penalties for this football team, because you look at the Tennessee game, obviously, but then Texas as well. Those were the two most penalized games in Alabama football history. That's incredible to think about. So for this group, and that was on both sides of the ball, obviously, but this group's got to play to a really disciplined standard, and I think on defense, that's one of the things that Kevin Steele has cleaned up right away, it seems, for this group, just with talking to some people. And then the mentality that this group has during games, and the vocal leader and the physical leader, I think we've seen both of them here in Nashville. Kool-Aid McKinstry leading the secondary, and especially when you're a defensive back playing for Coach Saban, that's one of the toughest assignments on this entire football roster, with his great knowledge of how to defend against the pass. So Kool-Aid is one of the more elite players in the SEC and in the nation. And then Dallas Turner, he's quickly getting off the ball on the edge. We saw what he could do, maybe not being blocked as heavily as Will Anderson Jr. Now he's got to deal with some more double teams like Will had to deal with over the final 2 years that he played in Tuscaloosa. But again, there's talent. There's just talent across the board. I think middle linebacker is a spot we're going to really see a learning curve now that Henry To'oTo'o is no longer on the roster. But from the returners that are here, plus some of the young talent, you hear about a guy like Caleb Downs, who looks really good in the secondary, had a great A-Day performance. It's exciting to see what this group can do.
The quarterback situation's been something a lot of folks have been talking about, and it's not just one guy kind of setting themselves apart. No, it's a really good quarterback room there at Alabama that Coach Saban's going to have to choose from.
Yeah, it really is, and the good thing is competition that we've heard about over and over again, and the fact that Tyler Buckner's come in and it seems like has been doing well so far in some limited opportunities to get to know his teammates. That's a good sign, along with the body of work that Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson did earlier in the season. And Coach Saban at the main podium, I think, said it perfectly. It's like you're baking a cake. You can't rush that process. You can't take the cake out of the oven and check every 15 minutes, because the cake will never get cooked at that point and baked. So I think the fact that they have a plan, it seems like, I think they have a patient approach, and they realize, again, there's no need to rush right now. Fall camp is going to be what it is, and even game week. Things can change in game week. We've seen things change in a game, most notably the national championship game. So I think that shows you Coach Saban's not afraid of change if that needs to be made at a very important position. But he's liked the competition that's happened so far, and I think that'll be the main word over and over again as we get into August and spill into September. Is just the competition is there for these three guys, plus two really talented freshmen that, who knows, could be relied on at some point this year.
When you look at the schedule for Alabama, once again, you got Texas again right there at the beginning of the season. How important is that game going to be after what we saw last year to kind of set the tempo for the rest of the season?
It really is a tempo setter. I think you hit the nail on the head perfectly with that. And I love the fact that it's at home this year. It's going to be under the lights. Last year we were getting started very early under the bright Texas sun at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium. So first of all, you feel good that it is home field advantage for a game where you know that both teams are going going to be young. Texas has some good talent, a lot coming back from last year that played against Alabama, but that's still regarded as a relatively young team. Alabama this year is regarded as a young team as well, so hopefully home field advantage will certainly help there. But I know that Alabama's going to get its best shot from Texas. They did last year, certainly. The Longhorns easily could have won that ball game. So I think it's good to have a game like that early in the season. And then, really, you get the road trip after that to USF. Then Ole Miss is in town after that to play SEC football. So, it's going to be a really quick start to the season. Love the fact we get to open up at home once again against Middle Tennessee. That's just exciting. There's nothing like having that first game of the season and being at home. And it looks like that'll be the case for Alabama in the next few years moving forward. So we can't wait to welcome people back to Tuscaloosa and Bryant-Denny Stadium for what hopefully will be a championship year.
Yeah, and as far as the SEC play, the SEC West obviously just getting stronger. We saw that last year. Teams like Tennessee, beating Alabama. Both of those games on the road. Alabama will have a chance to have Tennessee, LSU again this year at home. So, the SEC schedule, I think, just gets tougher every year.
It really does. So we're looking forward to hosting those matchups. I think going on the road to College Station will be difficult, no matter what the Aggies look like, and it doesn't matter what adversity they've had early in the season. They will be ready to go for that ball game. We've certainly seen that the last 2 years. So the fact that we get to go to College Station, get tested, and then turn right around and play Tennessee games like right after it again, or not too far, 2 or 3 weeks after. So it's going to be a challenge, but it's a good challenge. And again, Alabama, whenever you play on the road, you're going to get the best shot that everybody has, and we'll see that all throughout not only non-conference play, but SEC play as well.
Well, Roger, looking forward to hearing you on the Crimson Tide Sports Network this year. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us today.
Thank you so much, Chase.
We'll be back with more Southern Sports Now here from Nashville in just a moment.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
EAN Sports is proud to bring you the best, most informative local sports content, and we want your help to be able to do that. If you have a story idea, a tip for our sportscast, or even a highlight clip you want to see on EAN Local Sports, send us an email, eansports23@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter @EAN_sports, or you can send it to the EAN News Facebook page. EAN Sports, bringing you the local sports happening in your community.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
If you see some interesting weather phenomenon in your backyard here in East Alabama, send that to us. We would love to hear from you. Send that to us at the email address you see on your screen or through Facebook at EAN News.
We're back here on Southern Sports Now as we are here in Nashville at SEC Football Media Days. And Coach Nick Saban took to the podium earlier. Had a chance to hear from him some insight as we get ready for the 2023 football season. So let's listen in to Alabama head coach Nick Saban at the podium here at SEC Media Days.
Well, first off, I'd like to tell everybody how excited we are to be here. This is always kind of the start of another challenging football season. And I hope you all had a great summer and enjoyed your time, and I'm sure you're looking forward to the season as much as we are.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. Taylor Kaufman with CBS 42 in Birmingham. Alabama has some question marks around it going into this year, but we saw that a couple years ago, and you guys ended up with a Heisman quarterback, SEC championship, and a trip to the national championship. Do you kind of like when the media and fans have some question marks about you guys, opposed to headlines that maybe read you guys are a shoo-in for the championship?
Right. Well, we're never a shoo-in for the championship. We always have question marks about our team. Sometimes you all don't recognize them as clearly as what they might be, just like last year's team. Yeah, we had a great quarterback coming back. We had a great player in Will Anderson on defense. We had a lot of question marks on our team, but that gets overlooked because you have these two star players at critical positions. And, this year, maybe we don't have those kind of impactful players at those critical positions, so it's very challenging to develop the team so that they can compete at a high level. We have some experience coming back on both sides of the ball, and we also have a lot of new young players who can contribute in a very positive way to our team. But every year is challenging. Every year is, and no matter what's happened in some other year, at some other time, in some other circumstance, it's not going to impact this year. The people on this team, the coaches on our staff, are going to do what they can to try to impact this year in a positive way in terms of what we want to accomplish and what we want to do.
Front row.
Good morning, Coach. AP Stedham, AP and Kelly, as we see at Syndicated Radio. Out of curiosity, do you recommend any place that you visited this summer? And then the second question is, I know you sought counsel in the past on different phases of the game. What's been your experience studying the two-quarterback system?
Well, first of all, the first question is a better question. So, everybody knows we went to Italy. It was for our 50th wedding anniversary, which was really in the past, but I kept getting out of going because I didn't really want to go and take 10 days to not be around. But it was a great trip, and I would recommend that anybody go. And Florence is fantastic, Rome is fantastic, the Amalfi Coast is fantastic, and we got roll-tided everywhere we went. So if you think you're going to be incognito over there, that's not happening. So, and the second part is, we need for all of our quarterbacks to develop on our team. I don't think anybody has separated themselves to this point, even though I see improvement in each and every guy in terms of how well they're doing and how they're developing. But we need that on our team. We don't just need a starter, we need a backup, we need, good players at that position. Just like Jalen Milroe had the opportunity to play last year, we needed him to be ready in the Arkansas game and the A&M game. So when somebody separates themselves and nobody knows for sure when that is, and I can't establish a timetable to say on this date we're going to say this is the starting quarterback. It's going to happen when it happens, and that's the way it'll be.
Right side, fourth row.
Good morning, Coach. Tony Reese, WTVM out of Columbus, Georgia. The long-term saying, Bama doesn't really lose, they reload. So with the addition of key players going into the draft, I know you guys kind of reload every year. Kind of what's been that going forward this year?
Well, I think that that's the way it's going to be. When you have a lot of good players and you do a good job of developing those players as they have at Georgia, we have done that some in the past. You lose 4 or 5 guys that are underclassmen, in some cases more, some cases maybe less. Instead of having 17 starters back, you got 12. So it impacts your team and makes your team younger. So the challenge is how can we develop the young players on our team quickly enough that they're ready to go out and create value for themselves and play winning football? That's the challenge. So, and that's what we've had to do in many years. Some years we've done it better than others. And that's going to be the challenge for us this year.
Left side, second row.
Ryan Hennessy, WVTM, NBC 13 in Birmingham. Coach, you're over here. Your offensive coordinator is 30 years old. The age gap between you and him, what has it been like so far when you hired him, a 30-year-old offensive coordinator? Do you have a lot of things in common, maybe some differences, or what is that like? Because a lot of fans.
It's great. First of all, I still feel like I'm 39. And Tommy's great. He's mature. He does a great job presenting to the players. He has good relationships with the players. He's very bright. He understands the game. He's a very good quarterback coach in terms of helping guys improve at that position, which I think is critical. We don't have any issues. He's very respectful of what we want to do and how we want to do it. And the guy's hungry, wants to learn. I think he's one of the brightest young coaches that I've been around for a long time.
Right side, second row.
Hey, Coach. So most players have a go-to song or artist that kind of get them locked into the game. I'm curious, what is on a Nick Saban pregame hype playlist for you?
I don't understand this question. Say that again.
What's like your go-to music choice? What are you listening to? What are you and Terry listening to?
Next question.
Well, you know, I don't really listen to music before the game. You know, we always play Gimme Shelter going home, you know, after the game. But I don't listen to music before the game. I'm kind of thinking about, you know, have we covered everything we need to cover? Players ready to go? And trying to anticipate what might be a problem in the game at some point. So, I mean, if you walk around a locker room, you can get entertained quite a bit because most people are listening to music, which I think is a way the players are trying to relax, you know, a little bit and curb their anxiety. And I think that's a good thing, but I just never did that, so I can't answer that.
Stay on the second row.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. Coach, what can you tell us about the decision to bring back Coach Steele?
Coach Steele's a very experienced coach. He's been a very successful offensive coordinator in our league for a number of years. He's been with us in the past on several occasions, so he kind of understands, you know, our system of how we do things and what we do. But so it was a combination of his knowledge and experience as well as his familiarity with, you know, how we do things that made it I think a good choice for us.
Left side, third row.
Nick, right over here. John Sokoloff with WCBI, kind of a small part of a two-parter though, but can you kind of comment on Pete Golding's departure to Ole Miss and kind of going off that Ole Miss and Mississippi State next year, not on the schedule? I believe that'll be the first time you're not playing either of those schools. Has that kind of crossed your mind, and what are your thoughts on not playing either of those teams?
We play them this year, though, right? So you think I'm thinking about who we play the next year? I haven't even looked at the schedule yet. So I can't, no, I haven't given that any thought at all. Look, everybody needs to make their personal choices and decisions about, you know, where they think they best can develop their career. Pete did a great job for us. I like Pete. You know, he improved every year with us in terms of how he did his job, which I was always pleased with. And he chose for personal reasons or whatever reasons that was a better opportunity for him to go someplace else, and that's his prerogative. So, and we wish him well.
On the aisle, fourth row.
Coach Saban, Corey LeBounty, we got a chance to see a different side of you this summer with the virtual reality game. I know you like to dominate your opponent on the field. Did you dominate the virtual reality opponent, and what game were you playing in that virtual reality?
You know, I don't know. You have to explain it to me because I didn't see it. So what?
When you were punching with the glasses on, the virtual reality game, to where when you're taking on your opponent and you see them in the video game and you're kind of punching a little bit, it's almost like a little dance your daughter was recording.
Yeah, well, I thought I was horrible. I couldn't land a punch, but you could get punched. So that's the only time I've ever done that. And it was a good experience. I can't really give myself a very good grade of how well I performed doing it.
Final question, second row.
Coach Rosie Langelo from WSFA in Montgomery. Of the three players that you brought today to SEC Media Days, why did you end up bringing those three guys?
They're all good players. They're all good guys. They've all been good leaders. They've represented the program well. They're very experienced players. They've had a lot of success at their position. And I think they all have played a significant amount of football, probably as much as anybody on our team has played. So, and I think they'll both do a great job of representing the university and their teammates, you know, here at this. So, no really formula for who you bring, but hopefully those guys are someone that you'll be interested in, and they've certainly been great ambassadors for the University of Alabama. They've played really well. They're both, all three, on track to graduate, so they've done everything we've asked them to do in a positive way.
Coach, thank you very much.
All right, thank you all. Appreciate what you do.
That was Coach Nick Saban speaking to the media earlier today here in Nashville at SEC Media Days. A lot of good stuff from the coach as we head into the 2023 season. We'll jump to a break. We'll come back and wrap things up here from Nashville on the other side of this break here on Southern Sports Now.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brodney Sneed from both CARES and Direct Primary Care. Direct Primary Care is an exciting new model of medical care growing on both the East and West Coast. It's been recommended by Forbes and the American Academy of Family Physicians and others for individuals or small businesses with or without health insurance. The pure simplicity of a membership model streamlines the burden of medical care. It eliminates 60% of the overhead. That streamlining allows providers time to focus on patients with free, no copay, no deductible, unhurried office visits or telehealth visits with minimal waiting room time. It produces same or next day appointments and access by text or telephone during and after hours. It saves you from leaving work, wasting time and getting exposed in a waiting room. And the convenience and cost with barriers removed helps one avoid letting problems like a sore throat turn into an expensive ER or hospital visit for pneumonia. If you're interested, search the web for CARES Direct Primary Care.
Back here on Southern Sports Now as we get ready to wrap up this Wednesday show, and that'll do it from Nashville for us. We'll be heading back home tonight, getting ready for the show back in studio tomorrow. But we've enjoyed being here in Nashville. Great place to host SEC Media Days. It's been a lot of fun to be here covering Auburn yesterday, Alabama today. But we'll have more coverage coming up tomorrow as we get back in the studio talking SEC football, getting ready for football season. Now, we have SEC Media Days this week. We got high school football Media Days coming up next week, so we'll have coverage from those as we continue to count you down to both the college and the high school football seasons. But it's been great to be here at Nashville. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Tune in to the EAN News tonight. You'll see more coverage of the Alabama Crimson Tide. And so appreciate you for joining us here the last couple of days as we've been in Nashville. We'll be back at studio tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow with more Southern Sports Now.